more assets out there in the coastal zone, more lives, more people out there, they increase the chances of more damage. The ocean is warming up. So, and that's one of the factors that we looked at when we started doing the prediction for the hurricane season, what the ocean temperatures are looking like. So the ocean temperature, the ocean is providing all this heat, which is a source of energy for the hurricanes. So the hurricanes now become more intense. You know, the more you eat, the stronger you become. The average, the ocean temperature be looking at around 28 degrees Celsius, and that started to happen around this time of the year. That is what we call a ample temperature for hurricane to form. But we have the ocean temperature going up to 30 plus degrees. That's kind of dangerous. That's not a good thing, especially in the tropics, where you have these hurricanes moving around.
So what the hurricane does, really, it acts as a heat transfer mechanism. It takes the heat from the tropics and transfers it towards the poles. So they really do serve a purpose. And so given that in mind, I have a great appreciation for their purpose. The problem is they don't have eyes to see or ears to hear. So hence the reason why we are here. We are here to guide the population as to what they need to do in the event they're impacted by hurricanes. The UK Met Office, for example, is saying that every year the records have been shattered. Every year seems to be warmer than the previous year. And because of the global climate change, yes, that has an impact. Because this year alone, we had cyclones outside of the season. That tells you a lot. For example, once you have this global warming occurring, the season begins officially June 1st. But because once you reach the sea level surface temperature threshold of 79 degrees or 80 degrees Fahrenheit, that is actually a reservoir of energy for the development of cyclones. So once you have heating earlier or more heating earlier than the normally official starting date, yes, that can be, in my humble opinion, as a result of global climate change. So certainly because of that, yes. 2005, classical example. We had beyond 20 named storms in 2005. So much so that we ran out of the regular English and Spanish names. We had to resort to the Greek alphabet. We also went beyond the hurricane's official closing season of November 30th. Up to December, we still had cyclones in the tropical Atlantic. So certainly that tells me that something is happening around the world.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, Social Services and Urban Development Minister addressing the overall growth on the island of Bimini. Plus, Grand Bahama Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the discovery of human remains in East Grand Bahama. And a mother not losing hope in finding her missing son. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, the Minister of Social Services and Urban Development and the Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, the Honorable Obi Wilchcombe, addressing the overall growth and development of the island of Bimini. This as he assures plans to address residents' concerns and social services needs on that northern island. Simone Davis has our top story.
While reflecting on the journey it was for the island of Bimini to bounce back after several economic downfalls, Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, the Honorable Obi Wilchcombe, says his focus for the island right now is to stabilize the economy for residents to become self-sustainable.
The year 2000, when I first came, we had been going through a tumultuous period, reputational damage. Many of our people had left the island for search of other opportunities. Over the years and with strong leadership, Bimini has been able to come around. It's one of the few islands in this country that has arrived at the point of self-sustainability, where it is a provider of jobs and opportunities for Bahamians from all over the country.
The former tourism minister addressed the concerns of residents who have expressed that much of the tourism activity happens at World Resorts Bimini because not much of the tourists travel to the inner city of the island, where businesses need the most support.
That's a very good point, and I can tell you why. Over the years, we have seen a depreciation of the center of Bimini, which is Alice Town. That's downtown Bimini. We've seen when the customs building was no longer in use, the administrative building no longer in use, we put in place the most modern store market, and that is to be the centerpiece of what we intend to do downtown, to create the cultural center economic opportunities. In fact, this week, members of the Antiquities and Monuments Committee coming to Bimini to take a look at some of the historical buildings in Bimini.
Wilchcombe explains his goals to continue the revitalization efforts to boost Bimini's economy.
But the whole idea is, and we have the sign-off of the government already, is to cause for a change of downtown Bimini. And I'm working with the Development Bank because it is my view that more and more Bahamians here should get opportunities to access capital to cause for their investments as entrepreneurs. So yes, that is a correct point, but we're working to develop it.
The Social Services Minister also mentioned that his department is also focused on addressing the social services needs on the island, such as improved conditions for disabled residents, which has been a major concern. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis.
Meantime, an event honoring all from community leaders to nation builders as a number of Bahamians became national honorees during the investiture and presentation of national honors by His Excellency the Most Honorable Sir Cornelius A. Smith, Governor General of the Bahamas, taking place at World Resorts Bimini on Monday. Distinguished guests included the nation's leader, Prime Minister Philip Davis, Social Services Minister Obi Wilchcombe, and Education Minister Glenys Hanna Martin. Our Simone Davis was also in attendance and has the details in this report.
11 residents on Bimini named in this morning's ceremony as the country's Governor General, the Most Honorable C.A. Smith, presented national awards of distinction, merit, and service to those handpicked by their communities. The nation's leader, Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, giving the keynote address this morning.
On behalf of the government and people of the Bahamas, I have accepted this invitation from the Governor General to pay special tribute to the recipients of the 2022 National Awards and Honors. I'm indeed humbled and grateful to be able to be here in Bimini today to bring remarks on this most auspicious occasion as we celebrate these outstanding Bahamians whose work and contributions to national development have helped shape the Bahamas.
Member of Parliament for Bimini and Social Services Minister, the Honorable Obi Wilchcombe, extending congratulations to the new honorees.
All of you have contributed so significantly to the growth and to the development of this island of Bimini. And it makes me so proud to see all of you. It is so true, before I met any of you, I knew one person. I knew Gilbert Rowe because he was one of the greatest athletes I'd ever seen. But I didn't know Biminites. But then I got to know all of you. And since my experience, you've made me a better person.
The honorees also taking time to soak in the moment.
Well, it's quite an honor, being honored by your peers and your community for the work that you've done over the many years.
I'm very thankful, and it tells me that when you do something that is worthwhile, people remember you. And I am extremely grateful to His Excellency for being here today.
Well, he's a part of history, so his name will live on. And we're pleased and privileged.
Today's honorees walked into this room as regular citizens, but left as heroes after officially being recognized for their efforts and contributions to this island. Many attendees say it is a great feeling to know that their efforts were not in vain. In Bimini, for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Simone Davis.
Switching gears now, police on Grand Bahama are conducting investigations into the discovery of skeletal remains found through a track road on the eastern end of the island over the weekend. As Assistant Superintendent of Police Stephen Rowe tells us, it was an unusual discovery that remains under active investigation. According to police reports, it was shortly before 5:50 p.m. on Saturday, October 22nd, 2022, when officers from McLeanstown Police Station received information from persons working in the area that skeletal remains were found. And while it may not come as a surprise, as many persons have yet to be located in that area following Hurricane Dorian, what is most shocking about this discovery is that the remains were found in a body bag.
The police received information from workers in the area who were clearing down some of the service road to make a pathway to the beach area. And upon doing so, they came across a body bag that they suspect to have human remains. As a result, the officers from the McLeanstown Police Station proceeded to the mentioned track road, where they was pointing out a white body bag in the eastern area of Grand Bahama.
ASP Roll says detectives along with crime scene investigators were called to the scene to make a secondary search of the body bag and confirmed the discovery. Now, in times past, skeletal remains have been discovered in bushes or lodged in the dirt, and Roll notes that it is not a regular occurrence for it to be found in a body bag. We asked, what do police suspect happened in this instance?
See, at this point, police are still doing some investigation, and once more information becomes available, I'll be able to update you further. This matter now remains under active investigation, and we're appealing to anybody who have any information as to this incident to please contact the police at 911 or 919.
Additionally, Roll says the remains were discovered near a graveyard. However, he notes that officers are uncertain at this time if they came from the cemetery. The bones were transported to the morgue for further investigation. He outlines what the investigation process will entail.
Once you have found, the doctor will first make an identification that they are actually human remains. And of course, the police will continue the investigation to determine exactly how it got there and who the remains belong to. So shortly they'll be making an appeal to individuals who have missing loved ones out there in regards to DNA samples. So we'll look in that area from this point on.
And as time goes by, Roll says there is an expectancy of more human remains being found.
There are other persons that are missing in the eastern area from the hurricane, and it's a possibility that more remains may be found. So we are prepared in the event that it is found, or we know what needs to be done.
Meantime, the family of Shaquille Ferguson continuing to search for the young 28-year-old man who was reported missing weeks ago. Tonight, our Jelanda Thompson speaks with his mom, who says that while some have given up hope finding her son, she's not giving up just yet.
It's been 3 weeks since 28-year-old Shaquille Ferguson has been reported missing. With little to no leads from police or residents, his mother, Natasha Ferguson, says she refuses to give up until she finds closure for her missing son. Despite the odds, she's still desperately sending an appeal out to voters to assist in finding her missing son.
Come and give me some help to search
the Keys or wherever he could have possibly drift or swim to or wash up on. The police has called off the air and sea search. So I need the public to help and who have boats or jet ski, whatever, divers, to come and help, please.
Lost for words, the mother standing strong and tall as she fights to speak about her son, who has been missing for weeks. She expresses that the journey has not been easy and unfortunately discouraging, adding that some boaters who were involved in searching for her son has told her that at this point they believe he is dead and she should give up on the search. But this relentless mother is holding on to hope.
They discourage me. They tell me the way that I'm saying that he was going, that he might not be there, that I must face the fact that he's gone. But I can't take that. So a lot of them turn me down. They turn me down. They say I must face the fact that if he hit the open water channels, that he's gone. But I can't accept that, because God didn't tell me that. Not yet. I still keep an hope alive.
Ferguson says her strength is grounded in God, and that's who she will continue to rely on. In fact, her prayer is that closure comes in any form, even if it is not the way she hopes.
God promised never to leave, never to forsake me, and he promised me that he will help me out of all my troubles. So if God doesn't give up on me and Shaquille, then I can't give up, because I'm hoping in God that I find him. However God give him back to me to give me peace, that's what I'll take. So my hope and trust is in God right now.
She sends out this message to her day-long son.
I love you. I'll never give up on you. God will never give up on you. And I hope someday, soon, that we find you wherever you are and whatever condition you're in.
The mother says despite what people may have said about her child, his family and friends know him to be compassionate, family-oriented, and a humanitarian. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson.
Thanks, Jolanda. We certainly hope for the best. Well, in news from the court, a 43-year-old Jamaican national male appeared before Magistrate Debbie Ferguson, Court Number 1, Freeport, Grand Bahama, on the charge of armed robbery. He was not required to enter a plea. Bail was denied, and he was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Correction until April 16, 2023. And when we come back, youngsters throughout Grand Bahama marching through the streets to climax the National Youth Month celebrations on Grand Bahama. That story and a whole lot more, including sports from the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition returns.
Festival of Pizzas has arrived at Pizza Hut Freeport. Try our chicken margarita, grilled chicken Florentine, veggie deluxe, and the carbonara. Did we mention curry chicken pizza? You can also order a large specialty pizza and get a small one-topping pizza free. Pizza Hut Freeport. Dine-in and delivery. Call us at 352-9191. Pizza Hut Freeport.
The race returns. The GBPA Conkman Triathlon, November 5th at Taino Beach. Register now at conkmantriathlon.com.
With over 30 years of service with integrity, services in Abaco, New Providence, and Grand Bahama, providing modern and state-of-the-art equipment, specializing in the maintenance and operation of waste treatment plants, waste oil movement, sludge extraction, tank cleaning, elite portable toilets, and hand wash stations. We are efficient, reliable, and cutting edge. We are B&B Galaxy.
It's the coconut got this, cocoa skin driven madness, juiciness ice divide this, sweet like sugar in a dripping like ice honey. I think all of my love me,
100 beers with a kick of rum. Make it platinum.
The Pro Cathedral of Christ the King, celebrating 60 years of proclaiming Christ as King and sharing him with others. In the late 1960s, the parish vestry saw the need for a permanent residence for their priest. The various incumbent was living in a house located on Amunton Avenue, which the church rented from the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Pontiana Drive was chosen as the location for the new rectory, as there was thought that there was no sufficient land next to the church to accommodate a house. With a grant of $20,000 from the Port Authority and a mortgage from the bank, the rectory was completed and blessed by Bishop Bernard Markham on June 23, 1963. My name is Journey Bannister, and this has been a historical moment brought to you by the Pro Cathedral of Christ the King.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, what's up? Good morning. It's your girl Gigi, and it's the Morning Brew Show, and you're gonna love it. Come on, let's dance right into the afternoon with your favorite mix of Afro beats and Caribbean hits. Join me every morning at 8 a.m. to 12 noon as we talk about the latest hot topics, hot tea, and what's going on in the community. Come on, man, let's dance right on into the afternoon with your favorite hits. It's the Morning Brew Show with your girl Gigi on Power 104.5 FM.
Is everybody back up in the building? It's been a minute, tell me how you're healing. Cause I'm about to get into my feelings. How you feeling? How you feel right now?
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Youth Month celebrations on Grand Bahama ending with a bang. The annual Youth March, usually held in October, met with much success as many schools and youth organizations gathered in the Western District for the first time in 4 years. Participants sharing excitement surrounding the move to the 8 Mile Rock area and lining the streets to march from Martintown Primary to St. Stephen's Park. Our Raven Davis was there.
Scores from the various public and private schools, along with youth organizations, participating in the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture's annual Youth March that officially closes out the month-long youth celebrations on Grand Bahama. The event, which was previously at a standstill due to Dorian and COVID-19, finally come on back on stream and drawing the attendance of thousands. The opening ceremony held at Martintown Primary School grounds, giving students the opportunity to display their talents through dance, speech.
When building a bold future, let us think about baking. Bright, optimistic, labor-less, and diverse are our ingredients.
And song.
And I cry, oh Lord, attend unto my prayer. From the ends of the earth, when I cry unto thee.
Waving banners, playing instruments, and radiating joy, participants then marched throughout the 8 Mile Rock community to St. Stephen's Park. Minister for Social Services and Urban Development, the Honorable Obadiah Wilchcombe, saying the march is symbolic of unification and sends the long-term message that the youth possess confidence, a necessary component in rebuilding the country.
I think it's an opportunity for us as leaders of this country to come, show the children our support, but also to seek to get the right messages to ensure that children understand their true purpose, but ensure that they're focused on the purpose and where we intend to take the country. So to be here is just an honor for me, and to see the large numbers of young people out today.
According to Youth Programs Coordinator Carla Brown Roker, it is the first time in some 8 years that the march is being hosted in the Western District. Participants expressing delight about the move and note that the large attendance is encouraging.
I am delighted to thank each and every one of you, all the youth leaders, school principals, all who are responsible for this magnificent youth march. This has been 4 years.
I
have always been a part every youth march, whether I was chief counselor or not. And so this is nothing strange for me. I believe this is good so that young people can also come to the West, because this is our largest settlement on the island of Grand Bahama. And so they contribute to a lot of our children who go and be a part of these youth organizations in the city of Freeport.
This is considered, I think, one of the biggest marches I have seen in many years. As a youth leader, I thought it was important. We brought some kids, a part of my program, to be a part of this. This is an awesome experience to come and 8 Mile Rock. And this was so huge.
The theme for this year's Youth Month celebrations, Youth Building a Bold Future, right? Optimistic, labelless, and diverse. Today, 5 students from Grand Bahama are set to travel to New Providence to represent the constituencies at Youth in Parliament. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Well, the opportunities that exist at 2-year institutions was the focus of AU's College Readiness Forum on Grand Bahama this week. President of Legacy College Readiness and Tours, Erica Morris, says for the first time, Snow College visited Grand Bahama to share the benefits of attaining an associate's degree.
We know, especially coming off of Dorian here in Grand Bahama and COVID, we have a lot of students that want to go off to school, but the cost. And one of the things that really attracted me to Snow College was the cost of, going to that institution. It's $19,000, $19,500. And because this is primarily a 2-year institution, they actually have housing. So for $19,500, that's room and board, tuition, and insurance. Every international student here, they are guaranteed $5,000. And then if you apply for the government grant and they give it to you, that's another $7,500, and you're only paying $7,000.
Snow College international recruiter Ephraim Tripp says that his school is affordable, transferable, and personalized in high quality. However, he adds a few of his favorite attributes.
What's different about Snow College is that guaranteed scholarship. A lot of schools aren't able to offer a guaranteed scholarship to students. Additionally, our location is great. We love to take students not only through an academic experience, but we focus on giving them a cultural experience as well. So we take them to NBA Jazz games. We take them skiing and snowboarding during the winter. We love to take them to professional soccer games, national parks, so that they're not just studying and learning, they're also meeting new people, experiencing the culture, seeing the world from a different perspective, which is so valuable, especially in a world that's globalizing day by day as people get more and more interconnected. We need to understand each other. Snow College gives you a chance to be able to do that.
Now the college is ranked #1 in the country for student success, and we'll be back on Grand Bahama for a college fair in February 2023. Well, the Pink Pumpkin campaign is the brainchild of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas Northern Services. It is being held in observance of Breast Cancer Awareness Month this October. A number of schools on the island have created beautiful pumpkins, and the winner will be determined based on the amount of funds collected. Tonight, we feature St. Paul's Methodist College on why they are participating in ZNS Pink Pumpkin.
I haven't been able to see my grandmother in about 2 years, if I'm correct. We recently found out she had cancer because she got a surgery, and I haven't been able to visit her, and it's sad because she is doing chemo, and I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I wanted to participate because I wanted to inform others about cancer so they can know what it's about and understand how others feel about it.
Now, the Pink Pumpkins will be placed at the Raven Mall this week between the hours of 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you see our ZNS pumpkins, be sure to make a donation. The donation will be given to a local cancer awareness organization. It's now time for your check on sports with Shane Stubbs.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shane Stubbs, and welcome to Sports.
The Island Luck Cares Tip-Off Basketball Classic takes place this Wednesday. Let's take a look at the details. The Island Cares Tip-Off Basketball Classic makes its grand return this coming Wednesday, October 26th to November 2nd at the St. George's Gymnasium, and it is bigger and better than ever.
We are proud to name this tournament the GBSSAA Island Cares Foundation Senior Boys Tip-Off Basketball Classic. We also want to thank the Buddy Hield Foundation for coming on board this year. Our MVP award will be named after our own Grand Raymond NBA star, the Buddy Hield MVP Award.
Head of Brand Advance Quest, Will Ferguson, says sponsorships like this are worthwhile.
Sponsorships like these and numerous others show Island Luck's commitment to go beyond just being Nassau-centric and doing all that we can to support all organizations, events, and activities around the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force ensuring they will be keeping the peace.
The police will be with full force to ensure that law and order is maintained all times.
Teams set to compete in this year's tournament include the defending champions Sunland Stingers, the Tabernacle Falcons, St. George's Jaguars, Jack Haywood Wildcats, Amar Rock Blue Jays, BMES Warriors, and Study Hall Academy. Over in the NFL, Michael Strawn and his Indianapolis Colts fought tooth and nail with divisional foe, the Tennessee Titans. However, the Titans will come away with a 19-10 victory. Meanwhile, a Sunday Night Football, Tua Tagovailoa making his return to the lineup for the Miami Dolphins against the Pittsburgh Steelers, leading them to a 16-10 win. In other scores around the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs rolled past the San Francisco 49ers 44-23. The Dallas Cowboys decimated the Detroit Lions 26-4 with Dak Prescott back in the lineup. The Las Vegas Raiders got by the Houston Texans 38-20, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have some self-reflecting to do after suffering a 21-3 loss to the Carolina Panthers. Ladies and gents, that is your quick update on sports. I'm Shane Stubbs. Be safe and be great.
Has the biggest summer sale going on right now. Special. Comforters, mattress pads, sheets, toppers, and best of all, mattress. 35% off, 45% off, 50% off. Oh my goodness! Special, people.
Hi, I'm Wes. I'd like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I would like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Let us put shoes on your feet.
Come on down to Superb Water Depot and Snacks. We sell and we deliver ice, drinks, purified water, alkaline water, and a variety of snacks. Your one-stop shop for all your snacks and water needs. Contact 242-820-2482. We are located number 2 La France Plaza, Peachtree Street. Purified water, 50 cents a gallon. Alkaline water, 80 cents a gallon. Come on now, you can't beat that. We offer superb quality, superb taste, and superb service. Monday to Saturday, 8 to 8, and Sundays, 8 to 2. Superb Water Depot and Snacks. Come on down.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Arlene Sands, you are our Facebook friend of the day, and of course we want to wish you a very special happy birthday, and be sure to send us some of that cake from that 70s birthday party. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks for stopping by. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, grocers hoping to strike a compromise. Tens of millions of dollars pumped into SMEs.
immigration legal loophole, and junior racing team off to France. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is linked up by BTC. Whether it's chatting, gaming, content creating, or working smart to get things done, link up to stay connected with BTC.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lapinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. Decentralizing the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, increasing manpower in the Department of Immigration, and equipping law enforcement agencies with tools needed to tackle the country's growing immigration problem. According to the Immigration Minister, the government's doing what it can to address the long-standing problem, but he's not taking too kindly to the recommendations of a former minister whose policy he believes have not helped the situation. Cleopatra Murphy has tonight's top story.
Minister of Labor and Immigration, the Honorable Keith Bell, is taking the former Minister of Immigration, Brent Simonet, to task over his suggestion that government clamp down on the number of work permits granted annually to combat the country's immigration woes. With approximately 15,000 permits granted annually, just a portion of the 30,000 that are processed, Bell says the 2017 Commercial Enterprises Act that mandates a work permit be issued within 14 days, regardless of due diligence, passed while Simonet served as Minister of Immigration, contributes to the problem.
I know, having sat as in the chair of now as the Minister of Immigration, that it is almost an impossibility for an application to be submitted today and within 14 days that we would have done, Immigration Department would have done its due diligence. It is impossible.
Bell says the department has to ensure medical records and other documents presented are not fraudulent, but according to the Act, a permit has to be approved and can only be rescinded for public safety, public morality, or national security purposes. The minister has spoken to Attorney General Ryan Pinder about repealing the legislation. Bell also addressed the expansion of Abaco's shantytown community, The Farm, that has grown from 50 acres prior to Hurricane Dorian to now more than 200 acres. He says after the Supreme Court injunction that ordered the Minister administration to cease the demolition of Abaco's shantytowns in 2021, the Department of Immigration, the Ministry of National Security, Social Services, and the Ministry of Housing are now working collectively to address those issues.
But we just became the government in 2021. So the former administration, in my view, ought to give an account for what happened between that period. Why is it that adequate housing, etc., was not provided for, and why was that area allowed to expand in such significant proportions overnight?
Member of Parliament for Central and South Abaco John Pinder recently suggested there be stiffer penalties for those who employ illegal migrants, warning the illegal population is closing in on Bahamians and could surpass 10,000. Bell agrees with the push for stiffer penalties, but says the conversation should be on what government is doing, highlighting the more than $200 million investment in new vessels for the Royal Bahamas Defense Force in 2014 through the Sandy Bottom Project and the pending graduation of 173 immigration trainees. The question, though, is government doing enough?
To me, I may say yes. To you, you may say no. But the fact of the matter is, scientifically, the numbers speak that we have repatriated in excess of 2,000 persons already for the year. We have put persons before the court. There are a number of active investigations. Boots are on the ground. We have done recruitment, and you will see an increase in resources in all of these areas. So in my view, the answer is yes.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
In other news this evening, grocers working against the clock to comply with the expanded price control list. But while hopeful they will be ready by week's end, they're dead set on pitching an alternative proposal, one with which they hope the government agrees. In the end, though, they're determined to stand firm for their rights. Retail Grocers Association attorney John Boswick there on the mammoth task his clients are up against to meet an extended deadline to comply with the adjustments made to the price control list, as shockingly announced during the Prime Minister's national address earlier this month. Grocers were initially given a week to make this happen, but countered that there was no consultation. Now, while Boswick contends that process has since started, there's an added bone of contention. The proposed 38 items are actually
38 categories.
And it being categories, it would have been effectively over 4,700 individual items. And that would have put 40 to 60% of the items and products in any of their particular shops under price control.
And as explained, this involves contacting grocers in every constituency on every island in the country.
What you don't realize when you're looking at it from outside is that the operational cost for a food store operator varies from island to island to island to island. And the shipment of product into that island varies from island to island. The mailboat comes on different frequencies.
If grocers get their way, though, they'll make another pitch to the government as early as Wednesday on the way forward. Ultimately, it's to reach some sort of compromise, one that won't be detrimental to the association and, according to their attorney, somewhat beneficial to the public.
We are hoping that the matter does not have to go to court. It doesn't benefit anybody if the matter ends up in court. It becomes a costly matter for everybody involved. And beyond that, the only people who are caught in the middle of that is the Bahamian public and the Bahamian consumer.
Boswick represents nearly 100 local retail grocers.
And while those grocers have their take on the matter, the public is not at all pleased with the direction they want to head in. Residents have complained that the prices in the stores are too high, and they're happy the government has stepped in to bring some sort of relief. Regarding the time frame to make the adjustments, Economic Affairs Minister Senator the Honorable Michael Alcides stressing that the time was extended following concerns grocers expressed about the limited notice.
The retailers did ask for an extension to the 28th, which is this Friday, in order to get to us some suggestions on how we can, achieve what we're trying to achieve, i.e. bringing down prices and minimize the impact on them. We're waiting to receive that. As of now, I haven't received it as yet. And so what we indicated was that, Friday is the 28th. What we will do is we'll give until November 1st, and beginning November 1st, we'll expect that the new margins will be in effect in the retail pharmacies as well as the retail stores.
Alcides warning that those who fail to comply could face monetary penalties, as the government's main goal in expanding the price control list is to ultimately bring relief to the buying public.
We're not coming down with a heavy hand, so to speak, a sledgehammer, but we just want to ensure that the regulations are being met. And we think that this time, it will be approximately 2 weeks since the amendments were made that we will be doing the enforcement, and we think that's adequate time to make the adjustment. And as we said, in the first instance, it's a temporary measure. We understand everything the businesses have told us about the potential impact on their bottom line and the cost and how it's affecting everybody. But what we stressed as well is that the government has made some efforts on its behalf, and this is an effort to ensure that the things that we're doing trickle down and reach the actual consumer, who is the target.
Well, Milo Butler Mart's repositioning itself in preparation for future growth, and to effectively do so, it's closing its Blue Hill Road location, albeit temporarily. Chairman of Milo Butler Corporation and interim Chief Executive Officer of Milo Butler and Sons Limited, Alan Butler, noting in a release today that the company's in the middle of a comprehensive reorganization plan. This takes into consideration its overall business viability across the retail, grocery, wholesale distribution, liquor business, and other investments. The shakeup follows some tough decisions the CEO admits the company has had to make in order to remain viable amidst increasing operational costs and global supply chain issues, including reducing staff by 1/3 to now a complement of 50 people. The statement adding that the company has done its best to minimize the impact from the COVID-19 pandemic on both operations and staff, and is looking to make the transition a smooth one. Meantime, the company extends a special thanks to its staff, customers, vendors, and service providers for their support over the years. Well, as for its remaining stores, Milo Butler Distributors and Flying Dutchman liquor stores, these will reportedly remain open. Milo Butler Mart is expected to temporarily close its doors on October 28th until further notice. Well, still on business news, at last count, the Small Business Development Center had reportedly assisted 1,936 local businesses to the tune of some $73 million. Adding to that, according to SBDC Interim Executive Director Samantha Roll, since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, there's been a 40% uptick in the number of funded clients.
Year to date, we have received over 600 requests between funding programs, advisory services, and mentorship opportunities throughout 7 islands. As we seek to expand our presence in the Family Islands, and by enhancing our service offering, streamlining processes, and continuing to forge strategic partnerships, we anticipate the exponential increase in our client base.
Roll's comments come as officials get set to celebrate National Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Month in November. Minister of Economic Affairs, the Honorable Michael Alquita, says MSMEs deserve to be recognized for their invaluable contribution to the country's economic growth.
It is well established that micro, small, and medium enterprises are the lifeblood of any economy, and therefore it is incumbent upon government to promote an environment in which MSMEs can thrive and go on to become large businesses. To that end, the Government of the Bahamas is committed to support the various organizations and entities whose mission it is to promote and support MSMEs. This includes the Small Business Development Center, the Bahamas Development Bank, the Venture Capital Fund, BAIC, BAMC, and indeed the Central Government of the Bahamas through its procurement practices.
Well, 6 years after Hurricane Matthew damaged the administrative complex and residents in North Andros, and 1 year following its inspection, and that building remains in disrepair. The storm and subsequent heavy rainfall compromised the entire roof, the sheetrock ceiling completely destroyed. According to the findings of a 2021 audit into the Nicholstown Andros district, the Ministry of Finance approved some $100,000 for the district in September 2017 for hurricane preparedness. A total of $13,459.60 was spent. The audit further notes that while a former administrator requested to use the funds for repairs, permission was not granted. The Treasury Department requested the balance of the hurricane funds be remitted to Nassau. A scope of works and bids were submitted to the Department of Local Government to begin repairs to the complex, but at the time of the audit, this had yet to be done. The implication is that the building's continued exposure to elements may only lead to financial loss. Auditor General Terence Bastian then recommends the repairs be performed. Also under scrutiny, the district's National Job Creation and Skills Enhancement Program, in which 89 people participated during the period under review. However, none of them were given employment contracts for the period 2020-2021. It was concluded that the established re-engagement policy was not followed. The audit covers the period July 2018 through February 2021.
Hi, this is Chief Meteorologist Basil Dane with a tropical weather update brought to you by BTC and CBS Bahamas. Two areas we're looking at. The first one is an area of low pressure currently near San Salvador and Rumkey. It is expected to move towards the east, just to the north of the Turks and Caicos Island. Thereafter, it is expected to move more north-northeast, and there's a 30% chance that something could develop in this area over the next couple of days, so we'll keep our eye on that system. The second area is in the Caribbean Sea, where forecast models suggest that an area of low pressure is expected to form somewhere here in the eastern Caribbean Sea as it continues to trek towards the west. This has a 20% chance of development over the next 5 days, and elsewhere, tropical cyclone development is not anticipated. This has been a Tropical Weather Update brought to you by BTC and CBS Bahamas.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the national report. There's more to come after this break.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this month's business.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
But it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
What makes us experts? Every bite. And while it's impossible to know how many there have been in KFC's history, each one of them is crucial. Because our secret travels from mouth to mouth. And we know that the first bite will never be the last. Kentucky Deluxe Chicken Sandwich, a triple breaded chicken breast, premium mayo, pickles, lettuce, tomato, and cheese on a buttery brioche bun. All our chicken expertise in a sandwich. Kentucky Deluxe Chicken Sandwich, only at KFC Nassau.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Four people, 2 men, 2 women, are tonight behind bars at the Bahamas Department of Corrections, and that's expected to remain the case until early next year. 20-year-old Ilvante Richards, 28-year-old Rashad Timothy, 37-year-old Van Johnson, and 39-year-old Van Rare Richards, all of Palm Tree Avenue, were today formally charged in connection with the August 27 death of Anthony Swan. Swan was the man found dead on a sidewalk that day, reportedly attacked by dogs. Police say he had severe injuries to his lower extremities that appeared to be consistent with bite marks. Well, on Tuesday, the 4 accused faced 5 counts. The first, manslaughter. The second, being a person who keeps dangerous dogs that injure a person while being dangerously out of control in a public place. Being the keeper of dangerous dogs. In this case, a brown potcake, 2 black pit bulls, and a brown pit bull. Count 3, being a person who keeps and owns dangerous dogs without having issued a dog license and identification tag. Count 4, being the keeper of dangerous dogs who permits the dangerous dogs to roam in public places contrary to Section 23 of the Animal Protection Act. And count 5, failing to keep dangerous dogs under control and take all measures to prevent innocent people from injury. The 4 accused were not required to enter a plea. They were remanded to BDOCS. A voluntary bill of indictment will be served on January 18th, 2023. Well, there's still been no decision on the future of the National Insurance Fund, and this despite an ILO actuarial report warning months ago that NIB's funds could be insolvent by 2028 if urgent action is not taken. Minister with responsibility for the agency, the Honorable Miles LaRota, says the situation continues to be fluid with no final decision as to how the government intends to proceed.
Going to be impactful for businesses and for individuals. Like I said, we've looked at all of the variables that we're looking at, including the income of the board, including the outlays, what is being spent on prescription and other things. And I guess in the not too distant future, a decision would be made, and I would advise you once that is done.
An aggressive campaign underway to sensitize the public on water safety and treatment as outlined by the World Health Organization. This considering water and sewage execs are particularly concerned about the high number of private well water users in the country. WSNC Executive Chairman Sylvanus Petty says they're accelerating efforts to switch consumers to the public water system. Reports suggest that nearly 50% of water users on New Providence use private wells.
We have a program to educate the persons who have well water, to let them know that sometimes it could be very dangerous, because with water and sewage, we test our water weekly. If you have a well, it's very rare that people test their water, and sometimes it could be contaminated and they don't know until they get sick, and it causes a lot of problems. But right now we have a program going on that we have some of our staff going door to door and explaining the difference between our water, which is the RO water, compared to their well water that can be so very dangerous or contaminated.
Now, the corporation's also hoping to take its message to the Family Islands to promote best practices and public water safety.
It's a major concern, as Chairman Petty pointed out, primarily a safety matter. Our water, although we have good water on many islands, New Providence included, there is also high contamination of that water. I did a study several years back, and we found that every water surface on New Providence was contaminated with some level of bacteria. Every level, every surface, no matter where you went on the whole island. So it is a major safety issue.
The country's premier tertiary institution releasing its latest body of research exploring and examining various socio-economic issues. The University of the Bahamas International Journal of Bahamian Studies now available to online readers. A tedious process for local and international scholars who created months and weeks of research. Nursing and health science librarian at the University of Virginia, Balance, has this overview.
This is volume 28. The journal is a peer-reviewed journal. Scholarly papers are received by the editor, and we send them out for peer review, and then we publish them. And we only publish one volume per year. And it's always released during Open Access Week, because it is an open access journal. So the information in the articles is immediately available to anyone, anywhere who has an internet connection.
Now, the International Journal of Bahamian Studies has been published since 1981 and has been an open access journal since 2007. Today's release also coincides with International Open Access Week. Balance elaborates on the findings of this year's journal.
This year has 5 original articles. One is sort of sociology, psychology, the Bahamian fathers' role in their children's upbringing. Another paper by a big group of international scholars looked at the contamination of the well fields on Grand Bahama following Hurricane Dorian and the period of time it'll take for the water table to be replenished with proper, fresh, potable water. There are 2 papers by my colleague, Mr. Fielding, one about corporal punishment in Bahamian homes, and the other about the marital rape exemption clause in the Sexual Offenses and Domestic Violence Act, which is being discussed in the media at the moment and by the government with a thought to have that exemption removed.
Well, now time for our weekly poll question, and here's how it works. Listen in for the question and then log on to our website. That's www.znesbahamas.com, as well as any of our social media platforms to answer. That's all it takes. This week's question: do you believe protests affect change here in the Bahamas? Yes or no? The poll's final results will be aired on Friday. Thanks for participating. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse with my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
But it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
The Global Learning Exchange is now enrolling students. Pursue a bachelor's or master's degree, or become Microsoft or IBM certified. Call or visit GLX today.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family, join the family, Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love, a friend that you can trust, Family Guardian.
The Bahamas Girl Guides Association's West Bay Street headquarters may be nearly complete, but officials still need more funds to make it a done deal. President Dr. Ruth Sumner clues us in on just how much is required to finish this labor of love.
We need about another $350,000 to complete the building on the inside, and the major concern now is the elevator, and that's why it's costing us so much. But at this point, it's just about completed. The inside, that was the problem.
Girl Guides officials anticipate receiving those funds through donations from members of the public and corporate Bahamas soon in order to officially open the building during the association's 50th anniversary next year.
They're just finishing the finer things like pulling the end of the electrical wires and putting things in place. They were waiting for the installation of the air conditioning, and so when I look at it, it looks like it's finished. But of course, minus the elevator, and we need some elevator with those 3 stories. And but for the time being, we were able to just use the stairs. We can use it, and we hopefully, if we can get occupancy, maybe continue with our fundraising. We're hoping that we'll be able to meet that requirement of the elevator, hopefully next year.
Well, each year during the month of October, culinary professionals from around the world carve out a time to celebrate International Chef's Day, a globally celebrated event focused on educating children on the importance of health living. And this year is no different, with a few chefs at the Atlantis Resort taking on that challenge.
It's certainly not on your average primary school curriculum.
When we go back to the classroom, we'll definitely hear an air full.
And in this classroom, the books, desk, and chairs are unconventional too. Their substitute teacher, a culinary chef.
Now, after that one, only 100 more to go.
Who, along with several other white hats, have cooked up a lesson plan all on their own.
Well, today's International Chef's Day. International chefs all around the world in 110 countries are participating in events just like this. So the event today is really around kids, healthy eating, and growing a healthy future for them. Teaching them that eating well and eating healthy is a lifelong ambition, and that forming habits early is important.
And that's why Atlanta's resort officials turned the Fathoms into a homeroom for the day, teaching 75 Uriah McPhee students how to pat, stuff, and make a healthy sushi roll. First, the seaweed goes down, and then the rice, then, well, I'll let the experts do the rest of the docking.
Then we had to get a cucumber, a yellow pepper, and an orange pepper. And we had to put it at the bottom of the rice and put them closely together. We got to try sushi, soy sauce on the sushi because some of them didn't try it before, especially with vegetables. It was wonderful.
But more than that, for the kids, it was a lesson well learned.
The hands-on approach is something that we know that the children, it's something that they remember, it's memorable, it's something that they can take away. And we know that they're going to be asking us to do this in the classroom as well.
And while the students have since hung up their aprons, it's an experience Atlantis officials hope they take with them.
If we educate the kids now, they can foster a better, healthy living as they grow.
Into their classrooms and maybe into their careers as future chefs.
Well, speaking of eating well, it was all about health for students and staff of Bahamas Academy as the school yesterday kicked off its Learn Your Status Health Initiative. The intent was to make everyone more conscious of their bodies and what they need to do to keep it healthy. At the same time, those in attendance had the opportunity to receive free health screenings. Principal Juliet Sands and other officials spoke to the intent of the initiative.
We noticed that after COVID, a lot of our students, they came back to school and they were very sluggish. Some of them, they had gained a lot of weight and they were not performing the way that we would have expected them to perform. And so we realized that it was all related to health. And so we decided to put on this program to ensure that they are able to perform academically, physically, most of all spiritually.
We did some jumping jacks, some high knees. We got everybody's body rejuvenated, ready for the day's proceedings. Then, of course, as Principal Sands mentioned earlier, we had Sister Cooper and Sister Dr. Ada Mehana who came and they presented on the health benefits of even exercising, even hydration.
Well, several participating students thought it a valuable experience.
That we get to learn about our bodies and how our digestive system works and what we should put into our bodies and what we should not put into our bodies. And that we should have proper hygiene.
And what I learned today is that if you don't drink enough water and eat enough fruits and vegetables, your colons can become sick and you can develop Crohn's disease.
Family, friends, and PLP supporters bidding farewell to another long-serving PLP stalwart counselor and Cargo Cree South Andros native, Diocesan Bishop Ellis Farrington, at the party's headquarters this afternoon. Farrington was 88 years old. Several members of Parliament, including Bishop Ellis's close friend, Vaughn Miller, paid special tributes to a man they say made a lasting impact on their lives.
Late Bishop Ellis Farrington Sr. has played an instrumental role in my life, that of a spiritual mentor, almost like a spiritual father. He was one that he loved to give advice and gave sound advice.
Bishop Farrington was one who was surely chosen for such a time when this nation needed strong young black men to step forward for the greater good and forward movement of our nation.
Growing up in Central Andros, you would see and hear of his name. I was privileged to have been able to speak with him during my campaign and have conversations on how our visions aligned for the Andros community.
Reflecting on Bishop Farrington's impact on the PLP and nation building were former Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie and Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis.
He is a man who must be saluted as a hero of our country. He joins the band of men and women who are elevated to that position because of the courage they manifested as ordinary men and women in the community in support of these leaders who came in and said, it depends on you.
Bishop Farrington, he spoke truth to power. He stood up at a time when many didn't. And we don't know the strain and the pain that he may have endured to ensure that there was glory to others.
Now, the Cabinet Office today announcing plans for Bishop Farrington's state-recognized funeral service that has been set for Thursday, October 27th. That's tomorrow at Transformation Ministries International and Dignity Gardens at 11 a.m. The body will lie in repose at Transformation Ministries International between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. and public viewing from 12:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow, October 26th. Well, interment will follow on a Saturday, October 29th in Central Andros. Well, this past Saturday, Androsians laid to rest another son of the soil, Progressive Liberal Party stalwart Alfonso Smith. That's in Margaret's Anglican Church in Nicholstown. According to officiant Reverend Father Whitfield Hutchinson, there were many facets of his friend, including being a good husband, community builder, and mentor to many. Reverend Hutchinson adding that Alfonso Smith was a man of faith, doing his all to show love to the many he came in contact with, especially his beloved family and Nicholstown community, an act he says ushered in countless blessings from God.
I hear Alfonso telling us today, tell them, Father, to understand the process and what we believe as Anglicans. And Alfonso was a good Anglican. He was a good big brother, Mr. Mom. Alfonso was a good friend. He was a community and nation builder. Alfonso was a politician too, eh? Yes. But since I came to North Andros, and I love this, Alfonso was also a man of faith. A man of faith.
NBA League Pass is the coolest way to watch the hottest game there is. When threes rain down and superstars heat up. When clutch jumpers splash and your team is fire. You'll be there for up to 40 games a week. Any way you want to watch. NBA League Pass. Order now.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, if it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. If it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting says the ministry is seeking to promote climate-smart technology and innovation with the introduction of a new grant. This is coming off the heels of the success of the Sustainable Food Growth Grant, which was oversubscribed this month.
I am part of the delegation that will be traveling next month to COP27 with the Prime Minister to continue to drive home the message that developed and developing countries must work together to mitigate the effects of climate change. No other challenge poses a greater threat to our future and has made it more difficult for farmers to produce sizable yields throughout the Bahamas. Agriculture is a part of the industry that is affected by climate change. So therefore, in the near future, we will announce an incentive that will assist farmers in obtaining climate-smart technology and deploy new innovations to combat food shortages. We are hoping that this will help to secure a path to a sustainable food future and nourish countless Bahamian families with local grown food.
The minister was a virtual guest speaker at the recent Edzoma Business Outlook. He added that the ministry continues to place a special emphasis on poultry farming.
We continue at the Ministry of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs to place a special emphasis on poultry farming. This is not a new opportunity, but it's one that is ambitious and has a specific strategy towards the goal of food security. At present, we only produce about 5% of the chicken we consume. Meanwhile, we spend $30 million annually to import it. So, we are endeavoring to create an environment where we can grow the poultry sector and make the transition from emerging to commercial farms where Bahamians would be able to purchase locally produced chicken and eggs for cheaper prices. The potential and opportunities in this industry are truly endless.
The Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute, BAMSI, has also embarked on a greenhouse project that will engage family island farmers and provide training in greenhouse technology to increase crop yields year-round. BAMSI is looking to invest $7 million in these greenhouse parks with the hope of cutting vegetable imports down by 30%. Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Kendia Smith.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet's so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse with my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet's so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine's so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine's so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
But it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
A 60-year-old Eleuthera man, the victim of an apparent drowning. From all reports, the man was swimming in waters in Rock Sound when onlookers lost sight of him. Moments later, they spotted him floating. A local doctor pronounced him dead. The matter's under active investigations. In more upbeat news, an economic shot in the arm for San Salvador as the newly renovated Club Med at Columbus Isles welcomed 120 guests today. Air Canada touched down on the Isle, bringing those visitors. Later this week, an additional 200 passengers from Europe will come, and Bahamas Air will service the route with guests from the north. This spells good news for the Club Med property, which will employ at least 300 Bahamians and provide spin-off opportunities for hundreds more. The reopening of Club Med will also see the return of residents who left for work in the capital and other islands, as the resort was closed for 3 years. Leading the tourism team, point man and Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, said concentration on increased airlift has been reaping great rewards. The tourism leader noted that as the pandemic has waned, they have taken an island-by-island, sector-by-sector approach to reopening and reintroducing the tourism products and brands to the world. Meantime, a proud area representative and Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, says while Club Med pumped $5 million into the resort, public infrastructure was upgraded to the tune of $3.5 million. We're told that Club Med's operating expenses exceed $15 million per month on San Salvador. It's been in operation for the past 30 years. Meantime, there seems to be a shortage of skilled culinary talent on some family islands. So says Bahamas Hotel Tourism Association President Robert Sandy Sands.
We're to develop tourism holistically throughout the archipelago of the Bahamas. We need talent on every island. A lot of students gravitate to New Providence Island to take advantage of what is the perceived opportunities. But we have an ever-growing tourism industry in the Family Islands as well. And we need to train and develop talent to service those resort properties in the Bahamas brand within the Family Islands of the Bahamas.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. Just a few clouds outside of our studios. Temperature 84 degrees, relative humidity at 64%. We have southeast winds at 8 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,012.6 millibars. It's 29.91 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 80 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Tool Key, and Marsh Harbor, Abaco. The Berry Islands, 83 degrees, 82 in Alistown, Bimini. Harper Island, 82 degrees, at Rock Sandy Lutra, 81, Black Point, Exuma, Kemp Space, Orlando's at 82 degrees, 81 in Fresh Creek, Central Andros. Artistown, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rumkey, and Georgetown, Exuma, all at 82 degrees, 81s in Ragged Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, and Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Magona, 83, Acklands, 83, Matthewtown, Niagara, also 83, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 82 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, Vital King, and the Paint Setter. For all areas tonight through Thursday, northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide takes place at 8:30 tonight, another high tide at 8:56 tomorrow morning. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Rolly gray, your boat, need it feeling out. Hear the sailorman sound. You wanna go to heaven, put the radar on your head, boy. That's the sailorman sound. If you wanna go to heaven, put the radar on your head.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Mario thought he could have his cake and eat it too. He almost found out the hard way that if you don't insure your home for the full replacement value, when it comes time to make a claim, you won't get the full payout. It's called the condition of average. If your $200,000 home is destroyed by a hurricane, but you only insured it for $100,000, half the value, you'll only get half of that $100,000 payout. Actually, less than that, because there's also a deductible, which will be deducted from your payout. Check your home insurance policy for the condition of average clause and ask your insurance agent or broker how condition of average would affect you. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
Link up with BTC and call it one and done. Link up with BTC and call it one and done.
I'm Corval Pyfrom. BTC's work to inspire our youth continues. We are thrilled to kick off another exciting year with Junior Achievement Bahamas, and through our BTC JA company, we are working with a new group of talented, ambitious students. And after a 2-year-long hiatus, well, all around, it is great to be back.
This year, BTC is hosting us in a new space. We have a new group of students. We have a new vision for our company, but it all boils down to succeeding, and that is what we intend to do with our group of students who came from almost every school is represented with BTC's Junior Achievement Company. So we are truly excited to host our students and to transform them from followers into leaders.
BTC has impacted me by getting me out of my shell. I wouldn't say I was shy, but I was kind of shy when I first came in this company last year. And I am very excited about being a part of this JA company this year.
This upcoming year, I'm looking forward to winning Product of the Year again and just working with my colleagues just as last year. And I'm glad that we're in person this time, so we have more of a one-on-one and get to know each other more and can work better.
We've been waiting for this for so long, and after 2 years, it just feels like I started
the very first time in BTCJ. It's exciting to meet all the new kids coming in face to face.
Our BTC advisors are ready and the students are excited. Here's to making this another award-winning BTC JA year as we inspire, prepare, and succeed. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corval Pyfrom. Be well and be back here. Next, BTC Connection.
I've been blown away. Totally love the vibe to really be able to lead this process. I feel a great sense of gratitude around being able to have Shelly to be here with us.
This event was one that you had to be here.
You know, any time that I am able to spend time with especially young women who have aspirations and things they want to achieve, it is just always wonderful. So this has been a terrific experience today.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant here to educate you on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Here's what you don't do. Do not pull up from the pump without first checking that the nozzle has been removed from your car. Because if you pop this, that's about $600,000 to $30,000 to replace. These things ain't cheap. What you want to do is make sure that the nozzle has been removed, or just wait for the universal sign, which is the double tap.
The Sports Report is brought to you by Hoop Fest in Paradise, December 16th to the 17th at the Kendall G. Isaacs Gym. The best in U.S. and Bahamian high school basketball.
Good evening. It's time for Sports Tuesday. I'm Charles Fisher. We are just minutes away from the decisive Game 5 of the New Providence Softball Association Men's Championship, and that's going to go down at the Bankers Blue Hills Field. Who will it be celebrating this evening? The Cybertech Blue Marlins or the CNS Hitmen? This series has been back and forth with no team able to gain that big momentum, as no team has won 2 games in a row. So it all come down to this, and both teams feeling confident heading in.
We're a championship team. We've been in a voice situation and this. Come back and pause. Come back hungry and angry. I don't supposed to sit down and tell the fat lady sing and tell scores we up win by 1. I'm never comfortable. So the intensity and the pressure always on. All of it, I got to stay composed so it can trickle down through my guys, and hopefully we come out victorious.
But Tuesday basically the same thing. Hey, you got to step it up. You got to leave everything on the field. That's it. Hey, it's been go on. So Tuesday's going to be the same energy we came with tonight, even a little more. All right, so it's basically the same thing. Hot is going to win these games. Hot. Hey, the team that wants it the most is going to win it.
For us to pull it off, just remain focused and one out at a time, one pitch at a time. Can put good at bats against one of the greatest pitchers in our country.
Good luck to CNS Hitmen and the Cybertech Blue Marlins. Meantime, the Sunshine Auto Wildcats, they are the ladies' champ, and just like the winner of tonight's game, won't advance to the Bahamas Softball Federation Round Robin Nationals. And that's because, according to BSF President Jennifer Isaacs-Dotson, the format has changed.
Well, this year, because a number of associations on the Family Islands and because of COVID really did not have an active league, so we decided not to have the round robin. So instead, we will be having an all-star invitational where we invite teams from the various islands to come, of course, New Providence, Grand Bahama, so that, like a precursor to the Bahamas game, so that teams will have more of an opportunity to play, get more exposure to play against other islands, and find out how much work they have to do to prepare for the Bahamas game. So that's really what it is. I think the competition is going to be fast. I think it's going to be very good. And I think the rivalry, of course, among the islands, like I said, will pump up the excitement for the Bahamas games. And that's what we're looking for, to really get softball back on the map, to get softball back and to prepare for some tournaments that we have coming up.
Now the dates for the tournament, November 11th to 13th at the Blue Hills Sporting Complex. After a great showing by our men's national beach soccer team winning the Bahamas Beach Cup, all focus right now is the World Qualifiers in May of 2023.
The Bahamas has been wanting beach soccer back. Now they have it, and we brought it back in grand style. Our next, the next thing on the list is World Cup qualifying, and this tournament was really the kickoff to our program to get started for the World Cup qualifying that will be in 2023.
It's the start for the World Cup, for the qualifiers next year, so this is the start for us. So we encourage everybody else to come out and participate and train with us, try to make the team. So we're trying to build a young team plus veterans. So like I said, it's a start for the World Cup.
History in the making as Team Bahamas is in France for the World Go-Karting Championship, all part of the 2022 FIA Motorsports Games in France. The team stopping in London prior to heading to France for a practice session there, where they took time out to take a photo. The members include Endurance Team, Ramondo Hudson, Christopher Bain, Giselle Liorano, and Jashai Burrows. Salam Team, Caden Burnbridge, and Maria Scott. E-Racing, Dominic Robinson. Nice Bahamian colors gear to go along with it. Pretty good looking uniforms. The racing will begin on Wednesday and the ride through Saturday. And we wish Team Bahamas the best of luck. That's going to do it for Sports Tuesday. I'm Charles Fisher. Thanks for watching.
The Sports Report was brought to you by Hoop Fest in Paradise, December 16th to the 17th at the Kendall G. Isaacs Gymnasium, the best in U.S. and Bahamian high school basketball.
Welcome to the Cable Bahamas Business Solutions Cybersecurity Tip of the Day for data backups. Regularly backup your business's data. Set your backups to happen automatically and store them somewhere secure. When considering data backups, consider the rule of 3-2-1. Have 3 local backups, 2 digital backups, and 1 offsite backup. Remember, stay safe, stay informed, and stay protected.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
But it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we have this area of low pressure spinning just near, that will be San Salvador and Rumkey. We anticipate that it will move towards the east in time, just to the north of the Turks and Caicos Island, before taking a further turn towards the north-northeast over the next couple of days. Meanwhile, our forecast for the night called for a shower in places this evening, otherwise turning mainly clear, 73 degrees for your low temperature. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, quite nice, 82 degrees for your high temperature, your extended weather forecast, our 7-day period. Beautiful weather right through Friday and into Saturday. We could get a little brief shower popping up sometime on Sunday, but for all intents and purposes, lots of sunshine during the daytime. Those daytime temperatures getting back up into the mid-80s by the weekend, and those nighttime temperatures also starting to climb back into the upper 70s. Makeshla.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Welcome to Ed Table Talk Unplugged. It is a show produced by the Communications section of the Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational Training. Here we feature key education stakeholders as we discuss issues that are critical to the sector. Teachers are among the greatest resource in the arena of education. Even more critical to the success of our instructional delivery program is the input of males. Many persons are of the view that the quality of our schools, or lack thereof, is directly tied to the presence of males on the school grounds. In 2020, out of approximately 4,161 educators in our public schools, only 697 of them were males, compared to the 3,464, or more than 80% that were females. Since then, it is clear that this gap continues, as one only has to visit one of our schools to see that they are predominantly staffed by females. Yet while there are less men in the teaching profession, many believe the role they play is imperative. Today we have 3 veteran educators here with us to share their views on the significance of the male factor throughout the academic sector. They will let us know why they entered the profession and why they made the decision to remain. I would like to welcome Vice Principal of Cleveland Aeneas, Sherrado Gibson, Principal of Eva Hilton, Shameen Butler, and Vice Principal of Sierra Walker, Ken Lightbourne. Welcome, gentlemen. Well, before we go any further, I would like to invite you to listen in as our own Lisa Ballard shares an education tidbit with us today. Lisa?
As teachers, men significantly contribute to the advancement of educational systems. Male instructors contribute to the diversity of the teaching force and have a huge impact on students as role models in a field where women are overwhelmingly the teachers. Having both male and female teachers gives students the chance to learn from others they perceive as similar. This can foster a sense of belonging and reduce instances of disruptive behavior. Some students